The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thanks for joining us today. Another radio adventure as we have super individuals, real estate professionals all over the place here today. So thank you for joining us. Remember, go to stewart.com/radio in case you want to see the show on the YouTube video that we make every week at stewart.com/radio. Also, at that site, you can see past shows for the last several hundred shows. This is show number 569. Again, I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Let's get down to business right now as we welcome Lisette Gutierrez and JP Byers with Crush City Realty Group. Hey, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Bill. Thank you so much, man.
Here you are, Crush City. First of all, JP, let's tell people you formed Crush City years ago, right?
So we're coming up on the 3-year-old mark. It is one of those things where my business partner and I, he's a residential agent, I'm a commercial agent. We were looking to see what we could do to help fuel each other's business. Started the team, and from there it just kind of took off. That was we had a slow growth at first, and we've just hired 4 agents in the last 12 months. With the newest one being a commercial Spanish-speaking agent just this last week.
So here on this segment, as you're focusing primarily on commercial, but also Lisette is with you. And Lisette, let's tell people your role on the team, Lisette.
Okay, I'm a residential agent on the team. I do not do commercial at all. I'm strictly residential. I work with buyers and sellers, landlords, tenants, all the above.
And let's tell people, Lisette, from the residential work that you're doing geographically, and I know you go all over with your license here in Texas, but primarily, say, the last maybe 10 or 15 transactions, geographically, where have you been the most in your residential work?
I've been mostly around the Clear Lake area. I've done Texas City. I did a couple in Spring. So I stick to around that area there.
The Clear Lake City. Let's tell people, especially those listening from out of state, that we have a lot of waterfront and places where you can have views and things like that here in the Houston area, but Clear Lake is one of them, correct?
Yes, Clear Lake is very unique. There's a lot of water there. There's Kima. A lot of people go to that area that have boats, that want to have boats, that are water lovers. That's the area they try to stick to, is the Clear Lake area.
And probably some good seafood down there too. Just guessing.
I don't know. I don't eat seafood, but he can tell you.
All right, let's talk seafood, JP. Lisette doesn't eat seafood. What's that?
So I mean, I live in Seabrook, and so the biggest name down there is Tookie's Seafood. It's pretty awesome. But you go down to San Leon, and you can go to Topwater Grill, or you can go to Pier 6. Topwater Grill is kind of unique. They'll actually take and grill the fish you brought off the boat right then and there at their location. Both of those are located on the water as well. A lot of good seafood.
Well, as far as commercial real estate, we don't talk a lot about it here on this show, so we're anxious to hear what you can tell us about the commercial world as far as what you're doing, and geographically, where are you spending your time, say, with the commercial business?
So I'll do business just about anywhere in the Houston area. Outside of the Houston area, I'm going to refer it out to somebody. I hunt. When I say hunt, where I look for new business is in the Clear Lake area. I try to stay within about a mile off the lake. From within a mile off of Clear Lake, there are roughly 2,000 commercial properties, and so that is plenty enough to keep anybody business.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there's enough pie to go around, and so I pretty well stick there. But I do anything more or less except for large multifamily.
And give us an idea right now in the commercial space in the Clear Lake area. What's going on? What are the kind of properties that are selling, and the businesses that are coming to town, or even the ones that are shutting down and leaving? What's happening?
So the spaceport right now is probably the one that's really kicking off pretty hard with the way Doge has been working. I think it's got some people scared right now. But, man, Ellington Field was just going crazy. And then a new, I guess it's not super new, but has really kicked off pretty hard as well, is light industrial. And you'll find these really small, like, warehouse complexes where it's like a 200 square foot office max and 14 to 1,600 square foot warehouse. And those facilities, anywhere between 10 and 20 facilities in one area or in one plot of land, are really, really booming. And they're like month-to-month leases. Very few people in those do long-term leasing. And they're mostly 100% full everywhere you go. So that's a big one. And then just regular industrial never goes away. You can't build a warehouse fast enough. It's full before it's finished.
Well, through the years, we've heard about people moving, mostly residential, where people are moving to Houston in pretty big numbers. I don't know how much that has slowed down, if any, but and they're coming here to buy homes to live in, or even investment homes. Have you seen, or are you seeing right now, people coming to bring businesses and build businesses from other places, and thus they're using you for the commercial needs?
So personally, no. But what I do is I work with some investors. The waterfront right now, like particularly in the Seabrook area, has been seeing quite a bit of interest from restaurants. And so Clear Lake has all but died from COVID, and then the 146 project for the expansion for the flyover. But that interest is finally starting to come back. The one thing that we're seeing trouble with more than anything is FEMA really is stifling growth on the waterfront. So we're hoping that will change, or cities are going to have to start pitching in to really help reshape how the waterfront looks.
And when you say the waterfront, describe to people what water are we in front of, and what's that like? It sounds like maybe, is it like a boardwalk situation, or paint that picture? So
there's a couple different types. So one of the things that's cool about Clear Lake, and what makes it so unique, is Clear Lake is a lake off of the bay. So it's a brackish water lake fed by the Clear Lake Channel, but it also has 4 other lakes attached to it around the area. And so with that being said, there is just tons of waterfront there. And when we say waterfront development, it can actually go, if you're in Seabrook or Kemah, Seabrook and Kemah both have bayfront and lakefront properties. And so you can actually be either on the bay or you can be on the lake, just depending on what you're looking for.
Sounds good to me, JP. Lisette, give us an idea of some of the things going on, or market trends as far as residential in the Clear Lake area. What's happening?
One of the market trends, we have quite a few new builders. Like right now in Texas City, in League City, they're building Legacy, so we have some builders going in there. And one of the trends that I've noticed, just in general, is the resale seller is competing basically with the new builds. So the resale homes are sitting a little bit longer because they can't offer what the new builds have. So people that start looking for resale homes, a lot of them end up doing new builds, because the new builds, the builders can offer, a way lower interest rate. They can offer help with closing costs and incentives. So that's the trend that I've noticed. But we have some things coming to the Clear Lake area, even all the way down by Texas City, by Lagomar. Right on the other side, on the south side, the north side bound of 45 over there, they're going to start building another new community over there. I live on that side, and every day I go by and they've cleared more land. So. And
right now, are you helping in the residential world more buyers or more sellers, or are we at a 50-50 mode?
It's pretty much 50-50. I like working with both, but I really love working with buyers, especially first-time home-time buyers, because it's their first home. They need a little bit more guidance, which I have the patience for, and the knowledge to help them. And it's exciting to see somebody get their first home, something that a lot of people don't think they will ever be able to do.
And that's a great feeling, isn't it? In addition to compensation and things like that. What a gratifying experience. We're talking with J.P. Byers. That's right. That's his real name, J.P. Byers, and Lisette Gutierrez with Crush City Realty Group. So what are some of the other things as far as social media, Lisette? How much do you use the social media to get the word out about what you're doing, or what's your favorite platform on social media?
I really don't do much social media because I'm like totally camera shy. This is like killing me right now.
That's right. So you are being videoed.
I'm the introvert of the group, but I try to do mostly TikTok. I'm trying to get into TikTok because that's where it's at, TikTok and Instagram. So that's where I'm really trying to get into. But from other agents that I know that do a lot of Instagram mostly, from my understanding, that's the place to do your advertising and your videos is Instagram. So
sounds good. Well, JP, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know about what you're doing?
Things are changing. Things are happening. We're looking forward to the future.
Sounds good. How can people reach you, JP Buyers?
Sure, by cell 713-423-5898, or by email jbuyers@crushcityrealtygroup.com. 713-423-5898.
And Lisette, how can people reach you?
by cell 832-731-3793. My email is lisette@crushcityrealtygroup.com. 832-731-3793.
Thanks for being with us, guys.
Thank you.
Let's continue and talk with Murad Fiqui. The company is Future Real Estate. Hey, Murad, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. How's it going? Great to be on. Appreciate it.
Well, it's super awesome to have you here once again. It's been a long time. However, as we record the show, we found out it's your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Super awesome. Well, you're out there in the real estate world for how many years now? It's been a while.
Oh, about 12, going on 13 years. Yeah.
Well, one of the first things I remember, there was a home. I'm going way back, and I mentioned this on one of your appearances way back. But there was a home on a very busy street where it was in a nice neighborhood, but it had the challenge was it was on a busy street.
Yeah,
the street was San Felipe.
Yeah, San Felipe. Yeah,
So
that was a great one.
Let's start out with challenges in real estate. As you we all deal with challenges. Give us an idea. Take a challenging listing. In this case, it's on a busy street,
Definitely.
nice neighborhood. How do you overcome that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I focus on unorthodox marketing techniques, and a lot of that is social media. I've grown a huge following online, over 500,000 followers on my social media, and that's because I'm constantly putting out content, constantly looking for ways to market properties. That specific one you're talking about on San Felipe was an incredible story because that gentleman had been trying to sell his house for like 8 years. Wow. On and off, you know. I was probably, I don't know, his 5th or 6th realtor that he hired on that one, and they just couldn't get it done. It was just a real difficult project. He had probably the biggest house in that subdivision, so he wasn't going to get what he thought it was worth, but you know, no one could sell it, and we just had to market it in unorthodox ways. The buyer actually bought that and ended up putting her business in there, because you could also have like a home-based business. A lot of attorneys' offices and whatnot are right there on San Felipe. So we marketed it in that way, and that's what happened. And, yeah, we sold it, and he was elated. He was at the point didn't think it would sell. But I like taking on those challenges where, you know, a lot of realtors have failed, and I can come in and get it done.
You know, we're going back about 8 years.
Yeah.
It's funny how I can't remember things from last week, but I remember that house in your name, and it was on, I believe, the north side
They've been
of San
trying to
Felipe,
sell
by the
forever.
way.
I should have called the Houston Chronicle to come do an article on that, because they've been trying to sell that forever.
Well, there you
Almost
go.
a decade.
But meanwhile, bringing things right up to the present, what's going on in your market? And we'll tell people the area geographically that you specialize in. But what's happening now?
I mean, I love selling the entire greater Houston metropolitan area, mainly Memorial Villages, Bunker Hill, where I reside, and Piney Point, Hedwig Village, Hunters Creek. Like, that's like my area of focus. But I mean, I sell the entire greater Houston metropolitan area, and to be honest, the villages, I know the market's feeling a little bit of a pinch. It's gotten soft lately, but the villages is still hot. I mean, people that want to move into the villages are not deterred because the interest rates haven't fallen. These are affluent individuals. These are very successful people, and a lot of them are paying all cash and or putting more down, 40, 50, 60% down. So they don't need to borrow that much money, and they know that, look, when I find the right home, I'm going to jump on it, and I can refinance anytime. I can refinance, pull my cash out, or just wait till rates fall and refinance. So they're not really worried about it.
And for those people listening outside of Houston, and you describe the villages, give us an idea where that is and what are the villages.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a beautiful area.
Beautiful. The Memorial Villages is like a city within a city, right? So meaning they have their own city hall. There's Bunker Hill Village. So there's 5 villages, which is Bunker Hill Village, Piney Point Village, Hedwig Village, Hunters Creek Village, and Spring Valley Village. And within that, collectively, they're considered the Memorial Villages. Each one of those has their own city hall, their own mayor. So they are not a part of the city of Houston technically. However, they're inside the city of Houston. So it's like a city within a city. And the great thing is they have their own police force. So
each one of the villages has their own police?
Well, Spring Valley has their own police, and then you have Memorial Villages Police, which is Bunker Hill, Piney Point, Hunters Creek. They patrol, and if you call the police, they're there within like 45 seconds. I mean, it is very convenient. If you're out on vacation, you're going out for a few days, you can let them know. They will send patrollers around your house, check on it. I mean, it is excellent service, and this is one of the many reasons why people want to move to the villages.
Yeah, they run a tight ship, to say the least, because I do know any time of the day, if you go south on Voss, you better be going 35, maybe 37, but outside of that, right?
They ticket you. Absolutely. They ticket people, and especially, the people who are just cutting through the neighborhoods, they look out, they ask people what are they doing. If they look skeptical or sketchy or look like they don't belong, or somebody's like, casing houses or something like that, they'll pull you over, and that's great protection and a great reason to be in the villages.
Great security. Yeah. So as far as when you say social media, what are some of the things that you do, because you've been working at it, studying it? I know you've been trying different things out through the years. What are some of the things you do to be successful in getting your word out in social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Building a following and just doing it. Like I've been doing videos now for 10 years on social media, and the biggest pushback when you talk to the majority of realtors is they're shy, embarrassed. They don't like the way they look on camera, don't like the way they sound on camera, XYZ. They don't know what to say. And just not doing it is the worst thing you could do in today's day and age, where social media, interconnectivity, just there's so many ways to market. And so, who cares how you look or sound? Like, you've got to do video, you got to talk about the market, you've got to let people know what are you doing, and you've got to scream it from the mountaintops. And it's never going to be perfect, but perfection is the enemy of execution. So I just started doing videos, I started doing lives, I started talking, I started building a following, not only talking about real estate, talking about whatever is at the moment, could be something going on in the city of Houston, something happening with real estate, or changes, or interest rates, or oil and gas, the stock market, whatever is at the moment. I was actually watching something today. The mayor of Houston, John Whitmire, put out a post saying that today, on my birthday, July 7th.
Just for you.
Yeah, just for me. The city of Houston is now changing the way they're doing an expedited process to where you can apply for a permit to build new construction, and from application to breaking ground, no longer than 30 days. He said he's heard all the complaints that where in some cases it's taking a year to apply for a permit, and you can break ground. And what that does is all the smaller builders, the investors, don't want to build in the city of Houston because of all of the red tape. They don't want to sit on a piece of land for 1 year before they can even start. And so it's just a really big deterrent to housing and affordable housing in Houston. And so they've heard people, and they said they're starting this new expedited process. It starts today. They're going to see how it goes. So I'm going to do a post on that. I'm going to talk about it. This is hot off the press. And this is one way that I've built my audience. It's like, what is going on right now, and how can I help people right now? And not just the typical rubbish, like the real facts of what is happening in the Houston real estate market. I've been focused on that.
And right now, are you helping more buyers or sellers? Because I thought about you because I drove by one of your listings in my old neighborhood, and I said, well, I wonder how Murad's doing.
I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely love listings. You know, he who has the listings controls the market, and that's true. But when the market slows down a little bit, as it has since interest rates have been just stubborn, it's important to have a great big Rolodex of buyers that you can, number one, market your listings to, give them the first chance to jump on those listings, and two, like, hey, let them know, you know what, this listing's been sitting. This is a great area. This is the school you wanted to get into. I bet we can make an offer and get a deal. Right now, buyers are getting great concessions. You know, whether it's seller concessions, whether it's rate buy downs, whether it's negotiations, repairs, they're getting concessions because the market is a little bit soft. And so, you know, a lot of buyers are saying, wait, I'm going to wait till rates fall. That's the wrong mentality, because you want to run towards the market when everybody's leaving and you have less competition. And so I love working with buyers and getting them great deals.
Sounds like a good time to buy would be
now.
Exactly.
Now, when rates are high and people are sitting on the fence, that's when you want to buy. That's when you can tell that seller, look, I appreciate your house. I love it. I'd love to buy it, but not at that price, at this price, because it's been on the market for 120 days or more. And that means the market's rejected your price. So I want to give you a fair offer, but what you think it's worth, it might. Now, you're not going to put it in those words.
No, those words are pretty good. I'm going to write that down later.
But sellers are starting to listen to offers that aren't what they were expecting to be. You know, the 10 to 15% premium that sellers were getting during COVID when interest rates were 2 and 2.5% is gone. That ship sailed. So now, it's not that you're undercutting. It's just you're getting fair market value.
Sounds good, Murad. Before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know?
Hey, I would love to work with you. I will treat your house like if it's my house, meaning I'm going to get you every dime possible, and I'm going to bring a plethora of marketing experience, social media. Check me out online on Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm on all those platforms. I would love to connect with you. And that's Murad Fiqui, or HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com, the premier website for luxury homes in Houston, Texas.
And you answer your phone. The phone number is?
832-610-4290. And HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com if you want to check me out first. Check me out on Google. You'll see, I have a huge online presence, and I still answer the phone, if you could believe that.
Phone number again is?
832-610-4290.
And you are a United States Marine.
Yes,
thank you for your service.
Thank
and
you.
all veterans listening, we appreciate you. Thanks, Murad.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
As we continue, let's talk to Amanda Kuhn. She is with Pat Griffin Realty. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Well, it's exciting to see you. And let's tell people, first of all, Pat Griffin Realty, about your company.
Yes, sir. So Pat Griffin is my mom's mom. So her and my mom opened our office in 1975. Pat has since passed away, but my mom is still the active broker of our business.
Well, it's always interesting because in some families, some realtors are a result of a family heritage, as you're describing. In fact, I don't know what the percentage would be, but I would say a lot.
Yeah.
And here you are years later, and you're also in the real estate world. Let's tell people how long, Amanda.
20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've seen some changes.
I have. Started in 2005 with a decent market to 2007 with a horrible market. So many people got out of real estate during that time, and it's almost felt as though last year was very similar to the market in 2007.
It's dynamic. It goes up, down, and then there's always these new things that are part of the dynamic. So let's tell people geographically, the area that you work the most?
I reside in Pearland. That's where most of my business is. But like next week, I have a closing in Angleton, one in Houston for Maplewood. I also do Clear Lake, Galveston, Texas City, Lamarck, Santa Fe, Dickinson, Angleton, Manville.
Where's Maplewood?
It's just a subdivision in Houston. You say Houston, and it's so large. It's off of Beltway 8 and.
So more, again, it's on the south of the, kind of in the areas you mentioned.
It
So,
is.
And for those listening outside of Houston, all those areas
South of Houston.
pretty much south.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, as far as the market or market trends you're seeing in the southern area, what's happening out there, Amanda?
I would say our market is fairly stable. I think it went from a great market prior to last year. Then December of last year was actually our best month. And in 20 years, I'd never ended a year saying December was my best month. But last year was the first time for that. And I think it was post-election, people who had maybe lost confidence in the years prior, who had been wanting to purchase, moved on a lot in December. And then we hit January, slowed down again. Then right before Easter, we picked up. Easter and spring break slowed, and then summer came, and then we're back doing pretty well again. But if people are listing too high, their house is not moving. So it's really about pricing it properly.
One of the things I'm thinking about as I think about your experience, and we're talking ups and downs of the market, let's say there's someone, and there's a lot of new realtors. I say new. There's a lot of people that just started in the year. There are people that are going to the classes right now. But as a 20-year professional in real estate, seeing these ups and downs, what advice would you give someone that's maybe just started with a brokerage, or maybe they're in it a year? What kind of advice would you give them? Because the next 20 years ahead, who knows what's going to happen, but I bet they're going to be up and down.
Yes, absolutely. There's going to be ups and downs. We have currently 13 realtors who work for us, for my mom and I. And so we have these conversations with them often. And we say, if you make it 5 years, you can make it forever. So I think the first 5 years are the hardest. So you have to hang in there. You have to be active in your community, not only on social media. You need to get your body in front of other people. And I think that is something that's really overlooked in today's society. You know, people want to form relationships on social media. They want to create video content, which is all fantastic. But being an active part of your community is huge. And that's why Pat Griffin Realty loves Stewart Title, because Stewart Title is active in our community, and Pat Griffin Realty is active in our community, and it's just something that is so important. And people of, new generations need to find a place to belong in their community. And it doesn't matter what it is. It can be the animal shelter. It can be a local church. It could be a nonprofit. It could be your child's school, their daycare, local
Baseball team.
Exactly. Anything. Just talk to people, get out there, understand them, talk to them about what you're experiencing in real estate in real time, and share your experience and become a person that is a source of knowledge to where those around you want to call you whenever they have questions about real estate.
I would say that message is more important now than ever, because we talk about people answering their phones, people not. I called a realtor just the other day, and they didn't answer, and I got a message back saying, hey, in the meantime, text me. I'll give you a call, blah, blah, blah. But you got to pick up the phone.
You do.
have to have your body out there in the community, walking around, connecting with people. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it's common sense, but it's
is.
not so common.
But it's hard. It's hard for people that, they get complacent and comfortable where they are, and, they're not getting out. So get out, know people, create relationships.
Great words of wisdom. So there you are. Now you've just equipped the newcomers, and maybe they'll call Pat Griffin Realty too to be part of the team if they had that right, the correct mindset. So it's up and down, no doubt about it. And as far as your work right now, you have a lot of listings and you're helping buyers too. What's the ratio, so to speak, in your world?
We do. We currently have more listings than buyers, but it's a good thing. Our listings are being shown if they're priced right. They, have a lot of showings. We've had good interest. Buyers are being more aggressive in their negotiations, whether they, came in high, then want to negotiate hard. It is becoming more of a buyer's market. We are seeing that trend.
Well, as you have been in real estate these many years, 20 years, what is it that keeps you in real estate? Because along the way, whether it's a high or a low during this process, there could have been a time, or maybe there's just some super opportunity where someone says, Amanda, you need to be doing this with your skills, and you could make X or have X more enjoyment. What keeps you in the profession?
The knowledge. My mom's been doing this since 1975, and her and I have the same conversation, with me asking her, why are you not going to retire? And she's like, it's the same reason that you stay in real estate. And it's, if you have a person who trusts you and has always worked with you, and they call you and say, hey, what do you think this piece of property is worth? What are you going to say? Sorry, I don't do that anymore. When you know what the answer is, it would be like withholding information that is just, it comes easily. It's second nature. I was born years after my mom got into real estate. So technically I've done this for 40 years and it's second nature for me. So it would be strange to do anything else.
Your thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. And it's also exciting you have that view of it. But again, you're helping people in the community, whether it's buyers or sellers, and each transaction, I can imagine in your experience, all the different situations you've seen, the challenges, the surprises, and all those things.
Not one transaction is like another. They're not the same.
And then who knows what's around the corner even next week, Amanda.
Yep, exactly.
It keeps things exciting.
It does. It does. I enjoy it.
So as far as you're helping buyers out there at this point in time, and again, we're talking about the southern part of Houston, which all our suburbs have expanded, right? Mm-hmm. How often are you running into the cash buyer? Out of, say, the last 20 transactions that you've been a part of?
I would say 1 in 10 to 1 in 20, depending on the price point. So we get some cash buyers coming in the 300,000s because they're buying it as an investment property. Sometimes they're downsizing. Middle of the line, say 500,000. Less often that you get a cash buyer. I think it's a more uncommon price point, and that's where a lot of houses that are sitting are right now. And then you get up into, the $1 million price point, and we have had some cash buyers. We've seen more owner financing up in the higher price points. So. And
are you seeing people that reach out to your company, Pat Griffin Realty, that come from other states, other cities?
Sometimes, not very often. I mean, we get cold calls or leads on our listings. A lot of rental properties. We do list rental properties, and we're seeing more out-of-state people coming in looking at rentals or leases rather than purchasing. So then, as we're here at the end of the year, middle of the year, we start at the middle. How do you see things roll out if you were to guess and speculate for the rest of this 25? I'm hoping that the market stays stable, continues to grow. What I explain to my clients is I feel as though we had a lull and we're here and the wave is starting to build. And so we're seeing more listings than we are buyers, but we had such low inventory last year that anybody last year would have loved to be in the position where we are. A lot of these people who have listings are contingency buyers. So therefore, they need to sell their home in order to buy. So as this wave continues to roll, the market will trend with it. And so I think as long as we keep moving forward, people will get their homes under contract, the contingencies fall, they get the purchase, and then the sales become easier. The listings become lower and more stabilized, and then the market evens itself out by the end of the year is my thought. And I think prices will adjust a little bit throughout the remainder of the year because sellers are seeing that buyers are wanting a deal. And so where last year they were on a high after COVID pricing, people were offering over asking immediately, getting 10 to 15 offers, upon listing. And so we're seeing kind of the repercussion of that market and kind of leveling out our playing ground. So by the end of the year, we'll have more realistic sellers who are listening to their realtors, following their advice on listing prices, and then buyers who are willing to pay the listing amount because the sellers are hopefully regaining confidence in the realtor's knowledge rather than what they think the market can bear.
We're talking with Amanda Kuhn with Pat Griffin Realty. Amanda, let's tell people how they can reach you.
They can reach me at my office, 281-485-8375. 281-485-8375.
Amanda, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance, with a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers. Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is with Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett.
Howdy, Bill.
Good to see you, John.
Always a pleasure. Nice to see you, sir.
Always an interesting show. I mean, I'm surprised at the words of wisdom and great content that the real estate professionals bring forth each and every show.
It's worth investing an hour every Sunday afternoon or on the iHeartMedia app or stewart.com/radio to really get the nuggets. It's really worth investing that time.
You know, I'm getting feedback, too, that some people are listening to the shows and or watching them on the YouTube channel more than once, which is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's so many good things to learn that it's worth investing that time.
And, of course, insurance. It's insurance time.
It is insurance time.
What do we have for us today?
Well, today we're going to focus on the number 11. The number 11.
11, like
11.
Like a goalpost,
like
kind of, sort of. Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about 11 ways that an organization can minimize the cyber risk that's out there. So,
very important.
It's not going away. In many cases, it's getting worse. These fraudsters are finding more and more ways to infiltrate companies, and especially focusing on organizations that deal in real estate because of the private personal information that we manage for our clients, as well as the size of the financial transaction. So that makes the real estate world a target of these bad actors. So wanted to share today 11 ways that an organization can proactively take now, that they could do today to help them minimize these risks.
Should we start with number 11 or number 1?
Why don't we start with number 1?
Okay.
So number 1 is just do a comprehensive assessment. So what is your current setup? Evaluate your existing procedures. Are there gaps in how you manage potential cyber crimes? Are you truly doing everything you can to minimize the chance that you are hacked or somebody comes in and takes advantage of a situation? So, let's figure out where we are, and at least that gives us a baseline to go from. Because depending upon how well you are protected or not protected, that could affect potential insurability. So the first thing we need to do is do an assessment. Once we've done that and coming out of that, then we can have a strategy. So what is going to be our cyber strategy? How are we going to enact that? And the National Institute of Standards and Technology have a really cool 4-step process that's worth taking a look at, that it's a relatively easy way for an organization to step up and truly have that cyber protection, or at least it's a way to begin that process of establishing your cyber strategy. Number 3, and this one needs to happen all the time, it's ongoing training. We've got to continually remind our team, the threats, why those threats are out there. The threats are changing. So things to be aware of, things that we can do to minimize those issues, just steps that we can take, that pause to make sure before we respond to an email or before we download an attachment. So just having that ongoing, consistent training for the staff is really can be beneficial. And part of that is then implementing a multifaceted or factor authentication. So when you're activating an email, when you're activating a file, when you're opening up a file, that we have to confirm who you are a couple of different ways. So it truly will limit the chance of these bad actors getting involved. So having a multi-factor authentication program is critical. Number 5 is just making sure that you update your software and update the patches. You're going to get reminded from your software manufacturer, your software provider, when updates are available. Download them. They're going to let you know when patches need to be taken care of. Take care of them, so don't put them off, because many times we put them, I'll do it later, and then it doesn't happen. So make sure that when those updates come about that we take advantage of them.
Well, there's so many things to update, John.
There are. But if you do them when it comes, because it really doesn't take that long. But the problem is if you wait, now you've got a bunch of them to do. So it's just a matter when those software updates update, or maybe you schedule it that I'm going to make sure that every Friday I'm going to take a look to see if there are any updates that need to be taken care of, and I take care of it at that point. Along that line, on number 6, make sure that you establish the right types of firewalls. That you've got firewalls or any kind of intrusive preventive systems in place, so that we minimize the chance that these bad actors can infiltrate our system. Because the last thing we want is somebody to truly have access to your data and access to your email. So now they're sending out these fraudulent emails through your account. So they're not pretending to be you, but they actually are you. So we've got to minimize that. Enhance our email and web protocols. Who do we accept emails from? What do we allow folks access to? What files do we allow folks access to? Who can and can't send emails? Those kinds of things are critical, because what those will do will be allow us to really detect if there's an email threat. So we need to make sure that we've got those protocols set in place. Have data backups. So are you backing up off-site? Are you backing up in the cloud, so that you've got that data secured? And are you limiting who has access to that data? So that's really critical. You want to implement data segmentation. So you're separating the data out so that only certain people have access to it. So you're not having overexposure to that sensitive data. You want to take a look at third-party risk management. How do your partners manage their risk? How do your partners prevent? Are they minimizing cyber? Because you want to make sure that if a partner's not doing their thing, you don't want a bad actor to be able to infiltrate your system, or a malware to infiltrate your system because of something that your partners haven't done. So it's important to understand what your partners are doing. And then last but not least, have cyber insurance coverage.
Man, so many things, John. People definitely are going to have to hear this show and this segment again.
Well, they really should. And they can go to stewart.com/radio and hear it again and again and again.
Indeed, because, man, we have to have our head on a cyber swivel. I mean, there's just too many things. And I saw a headline for a YouTube video that it seems like there's so many scams of all sorts. But when we get into high stakes, whether it's 100,000, a million, multi-million, when we get into the world of real estate where these monies are going back and forth, the criminals have their eyes on this type of potential prize for them.
Well, they really do. I mean, there was, it's just sad that, we get 60% of these cyber crimes are coming from folks infiltrating business emails. So, I mean, that's just something as simple as just taking a step. And does this look legit? Is this from the same people that I normally do business with? Does this sound like the company? Do I normally get emails from this organization at this time? Is this a message that would be coming from me? So all those, I mean, it seems like a lot, but if you just tackle those 11 things and make sure that you keep up to date on those 11 things, then you can go a long way in minimizing the chance of any kind of bad actors.
Fantastic, John. What else should we know?
Well, if you'd like help with that, or if you'd like help getting the proper cyber coverage, we'd be happy to. If they'd like to be properly insured, they can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. Learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com or visit us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
That's right. Anyone, you're here in Houston, you're whatever part of town, you want that coverage, you want to know how to be properly insured, you call Stewart Insurance. But also, if you're in another city here in the United States, you might be. I was in Hot Springs, Arkansas last week, John. They want to be properly insured. I was in New Mexico a few weeks ago. Last year, Washington State. All these places, people can simply call Stewart by going
866-798-2827.
John, thanks for being with us.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
Well, here we are winding up the show, but as always, we have tremendous people at Stewart Title. They're called business development people. They're here for you if you're a real estate professional or if you're anybody else that has questions. And two of the branches we have right now represented is Pearland, the land of pears, Brittany Hernandez, and also Clear Lake, Jana McGuire. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. We should have had like a song.
I love
for
that.
that.
I
Like,
love
we
when it
should've-
happens together like that.
Ding dong.
Yeah, there you go.
We should have
Hey,
something.
Bill.
I love that. So, in the meantime, Jana, let's tell people about your office quickly in
Tom's-
Clear Lake.
Yeah, Stewart Title Clear Lake over off in Space Center Boulevard near NASA and Bay Area. We're all right there in that area.
Things are taking off there, aren't they? Especially
Taking
rockets.
off, literally.
And Brittany, your office is Pearland, right?
Yes, Pearland. We are doing right now Christmas in July. So we're doing a non-perishable food drive in the area that's going to benefit all of the food pantries in our community, which is Alvin, Pearland, and Manville.
And that's going on right now.
It's going
all
all
of July. Hey, we kind of
Nice.
rehearsed that.
Yeah, we also have a Summer Santa coming in on July 25th. So bring in your non-perishable items, and you can come take a picture with Santa in his Hawaiian gear.
I was going to say, it'd be kind of hot to wear the regular
Nope.
Santa suit, but this Santa is
He's going to
ready.
be cool.
He's going to be cool, ready for the
That is.
weather.
Yes.
So, Jana, what are you going to see the Santa as well? Or
I'm going to go over there and check
See
it
the
out.
jolly big guy.
Yes.
Because
we like to support each other, too.
Right. Well, the distance between your branches is how far is it? So Pearland to
Like
Clear Lake.
20 minutes, maybe.
Maybe
Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
depending on traffic.
Yeah.
Okay, because I
45.
was at Clear Lake for the event that y'all had a few weeks ago, but
Right.
Brittany, I've never been
You've
to the
never come
Pearland.
to the Land of Pears?
I've never been to
Yes,
the
you have
Stewart.
come. And you should
Gotta
come
go.
July
Check it out.
25th and bring your non-perishable items and
Yeah.
come see Santa. You can sit on his lap.
Non-perishable. They have to be food items.
I
I have a lot of
mean, they're all
non-perishable
going to the
items.
food
but-
pantry.
okay,
so
so
waters,
Kind
anything.
of whatever you want.
Okay, if people want to know about your office and they want to call you, let's start with Jana. How do they reach you, Jana McGuire, in Clear Lake for Stewart Title?
Best phone number is 832-244-3439. 832-244-3439.
And Brittany?
281-412-6900. 281-412-6900.
We say hi to Tara Hobbs over there, right?
Because we love her.
She's great.
She's the best.
No doubt about it. Thanks, guys, for being with us. We'll see you soon. In the meantime,
Thanks,
they are
Bill.
back with Crush City Realty, Lisette Gutierrez, and J.P. Byers. Hey, guys, welcome back. A final word. Here we are closing the show down. I wouldn't think of doing it with anybody else but you guys. You guys are awesome. So let's tell people, JP, what else should we know about your company?
So I think that's one of the things that Murad and Amanda both hit on is doing social media is a big part of it. Like advertising and getting in a big social flux is huge. However, I ran for city council earlier this year in Seabrook, Texas, and I cannot tell you how many connections I made, personal one-on-one handshake. And so as awesome as social media is, if you're not out there getting to know people one-on-one, you're not forming real relationships, and that's where our business really thrives.
It's where the business thrives, where it grows, but also where the satisfaction of being out in the community and meeting people. I mean, it's rewarding in so many ways.
Well, it's a personal business. No, I don't care whether you're in investing or if you're helping people buy their first home or their last home. Honestly, it's very, very personal.
No doubt. Lisette, what do you think about all that?
Definitely go out there into the community. Get yourself out there. One of the things I try to do as a realtor, because I am, like I said earlier, the introvert of the team. I try to go and I visit new builds, get to know the builders, just so I know the inventory.
Well, that's that's a great strategy.
Yeah,
So
I'm
there
trying
you
to
are.
do more of that.
Well, Lisette, let's tell people how they can reach you.
832-731-3793. Lisette Gutierrez. Oh, actually, it's Lisette at crushcityrealty.com. 832-731-3793.
And JP, your number is
713-423-5898. It's at JBYERS at crushcityrealtygroup.com.
You know, that's a great name, Buyers.
Yeah, I
It
love
makes
it.
people want to buy.
I hope so anyway.
No doubt.
That's usually the point.
Phone number again is
713-423-5898.
Thanks for being
Thanks,
with us,
Bill.
guys. Nice to
Appreciate
meet
you,
you,
man.
Lisette. He's
Dude,
back.
Thank you.
He's back. Future real estate, Murad Ficky. Hey, Murad, here you are. The final minutes of the show. What should people know?
I love doing marketing, unorthodox ways of marketing, beautiful, fabulous properties. You know, we can get buyers from Japan, Asia, Central America, South America. There's so much money around the world, and so many people want to move to Houston, Texas. So I get a lot of people online always asking me like that's, you get this for, $2.5 million. They can't believe it, because if you're coming from Manhattan or you're coming from LA, the bang for your buck
20
goes,
million, 40 million.
Oh yeah. $2.5 million in Manhattan gets you a tiny apartment, and so they just can't believe you get that much house here in Texas. They're telling me like, what's the catch? I mean, there has to be a catch. So, marketing your properties overseas to all the countries around the world is the best way. And there's an unlimited supply of money and people with money who want to invest in Houston, Texas. And that's what I do. I go get it.
No doubt about it. Murad Ficky. Murad, how can people reach you?
The premier website for luxury homes in Houston, Texas is HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com. Again, that's HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com. Let's connect. And or social media. I love being on social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok. Hit me up on your favorite platform. I love to connect with you. And you can also call or text 832-610-4290. That's 832-610-4290.
And you never know. If you're out there in the Memorial area having lunch, dinner, you might see Murad at one of the restaurants just like I did like a year and a half ago.
For sure.
Thanks for being with us, Murad.
Thank
she
you.
is back.
Appreciate it.
Amanda Kuhn with Pat Griffin Realty. Hey, Amanda, it's you and me closing,
Yes, sir.
landing the plane, bringing the ship to port, however you want to say it. What else should we know, Amanda?
We are. There's never a better time to buy than now or invest. Real estate.
NOW.
Yeah, real estate. The best time to buy is now. So, like everybody said, you can refinance later. Prices are always increasing, whether people want to admit that or not. And the big picture, the prices are going up.
Indeed, no doubt about it. And again, how many people do you have on your team?
We have 13.
13 real estate professionals.
We do.
So that sounds like a nice group to serve the Houston market.
Yep. We love what we do.
Amanda, let's tell people how they can reach you. Amanda Kuhn at Pat Griffin Realty.
You can reach me on my cell phone at 713-702-6339. Again, that's 713-702-6339.
Thanks for being with us, Amanda.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. That's right, show number 569. All the shows are at stewart.com/radio. That's right, you can see and hear the real estate professionals right there by going to the website. Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett, all of our team at Stewart Title, our Stewart Fine Associates, and of course the great people at Stewart Insurance. We're here to help you. Go to our website, stewart.com. You have any questions about title insurance or you want to know where one of our offices are, stewartinsurance.com for the full menu where you can be properly insured. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week, show number 570. Until then.